Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahushai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahushai. Shalak. Rayam. Why? Einash. Why? Haragi. Why? Mishpani. Why? Gador. Mawat. Ow. Kor. Adawani. Why? Kawaya. What? Ayab Yanawa. Baba Kashab. Shalak. Ash. Ba. Shem. Bayab. Baba Kashab. Shabar. What? Abad. Ayab Yanawa. Baba Kashab. Shabar. Ha. Akan. Shur. Ha. Ayab Yad. Baba Kashab. Sar. Ma. Kayam. Ba. La. Masapai. The water.
Khan. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. First and foremost, I have to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Malak Yahushai. That is to say, Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahushai, being named His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's your brother Gasadia from W5 Jersey, Philly.
Brother Yazara.
Khan, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's another Watchmen Wednesday, and we'll be kicking things off. We're going into, one of the bigger things that's happening right now in the earth is that these so-called doomsday scientists, they kept the time of all hell breaking loose to approximately 90 seconds till midnight. That means if you put into perspective, at any given second, all hell can break loose. 90 seconds to midnight is roughly about, like we mentioned, a minute and a half. About a minute and a half to all hell breaks loose in the earth. Now, these men, they come together each and every year. They've been doing it for decades now, if I'm not mistaken. And they continue to come through and, pretty much put out their approximation on when they feel through their spirit, all hell is going to break loose, right? So this is a very big thing that's going on, all in all, with the different things that's happening in the earth, right? We got about 90,000 troops of NATO that's gathered at the border right now, right now, doing military drills, which is the largest ever, if I'm not mistaken, largest ever NATO military exercises in decades. That started today. They said it was going to do it last week. They started it today. You have the NATO admiral. He said a few days ago that you need to prepare for the first 36 hours of the collapse of all hell breaking loose. Why is the leader of NATO speaking about if all hell were to break loose, you should be prepared for the first 36 hours of it? I don't remember a decade or a time, and I'm still a young brother, but just going through history, it's not often that the leader of so-called NATO or the admiral of NATO is saying that you need to start preparing because all hell is about to break loose. You have North Korea removing the monument over in North Korea of the union between North Korea and South Korea, and pretty much Kim Jong-un is saying, look, is no more talks of peace, and they ready to go to war. Although we continue to bring these, similar things out, these events that's happening, and you continue to hear these things that the Most High is pushing on the earth, wars and rumors of wars, it's just showing you how much closer we are until the end of the world, right? So I want to get this quick precept, right? Quick precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 43. 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and verse number 43. It says, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Right, so the Lord said there is a doomsday. There is a doomsday, right? And we're about to enter into the doomsday. We're about to enter into all hell breaking loose, right? We got different things that's going on in the earth, different earthquakes, uprisings of the people. You got over in Texas right now, they were commanded to remove the border or the gate that's surrounding the border over between Texas and Mexico. But you got those that's the military troops that's over there in Texas. They saying, no, we're not going to do that. They said we're not going to do that. Now, as they're saying, and shalom to everyone that's, watching, all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. As they're saying they're not going to do that, you have Oklahoma just today, maybe about 30 minutes. They also is now hand in hand, and we're going to show all of these things, but they're also hand in hand with saying that, look, we're in support of Texas. Is that civil war being brewed and kicked off in the earth over here in America? Right, so that's a few things we're going to get into, most are willing. And if the Lord puts other things in our spirit to go into, we'll definitely go into them. But you had anything you want to bring out, King?
Nah, we can just jump right into it.
So getting right into it, I'm gonna share my screen. Most are willing. Let me know if you can see it. I want this one. Can you see my screen, King?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this is the bulletin.org. And like I mentioned, every year they've been going, I believe it says, well, I don't think it tells you the exact time, but every year they've been going into all hell breaking loose, right? In the exact amount of time, so to speak, the approximate time on the earth that we are living in. So it says, the bulletin.org, a moment, and brothers, we go into this frequently, right? I believe we go into this frequently, just about every year so far. Every time they drop something like this, we've been going into it, right? So it says a moment of historic danger. It is still 90 seconds to midnight because it didn't move. Last year, they moved it to 90 seconds to midnight, and that's the closest it's ever been towards midnight. And it really doesn't take the bulletin.org to drop this for you to realize how close you are to the end of the world, right? Let me get this quick precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. And if you didn't know, 2nd Ezra is a lot of brothers' favorite book in the Bible, right? These prophecies, that's what brothers love in the spirit, right? So this is the book of 2nd Ezra because that's what the Most High loves, right? It's the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Tell you that in Revelation, the 19th chapter. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and I'll start at verse 34. I started at 33. 2nd Ezra 6 and 33, and therefore had he sent me to show thee all these things. Right, so the Lord sent us to show you these things. Not just us, but the countless brothers that paved the way and have been laboring in his truth before us, right? The elders that's been laboring before us, so on and so forth, right? Our forefathers, Ezra, Isaiah, all the mighty different prophets that the Most High set up in the spirit. So it says, and therefore had he sent me to show thee all these things and to say unto thee, be of good comfort and fear not. Because as we see, it's 90 seconds to midnight. We know the scriptures say in the book of Amos, I believe it's the 5th chapter. I believe it's the 5th chapter. But woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. We understand that the day of the Lord is going to be a dreadful day, right? That's what the Most High speaks about. It's a day of doom, a day of darkness. Tell you that in Joel, the 1st chapter, verse 14 on down. This ain't going to be it's not going to be a day of damn ice cream or whatever else you may be thinking about. Rose petals and lilies. It's not going to be a skip in the park. Everything's not going to be green and so-called glorious if you have ears to hear. That day is going to be a day of darkness, a day of judgment, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of missiles, a lot of fire and smoke and brimstone. That day is going to be some days of pestilence. It's going to be some days of famine. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to be kicking off in the earth. But the Lord said you got to be of good comfort. Why? Because the Lord has showed you before it happens in the earth. The Lord is showing you what's going to happen in the earth. Not only is the Lord saying in Deuteronomy 76 that we're above all people, but literally there's people on the earth that's trying to figure out, like these atomic scientists. They're spending nights and days, and they had a whole year to see how close they are, or we are really, to the end of the world. And they said, look, it's still just 90 seconds to midnight. Right? But the Lord has showed us how close we are. Let's read on. It says, be of good comfort and fear not, and hasten not with the times that are past, to think vain things that thou mayest not hasten from the latter times. So the Lord said, don't hasten with the times that are past. Meaning what? Don't dwell on the past and the things that's going on, right? Or the things that's behind you. Don't worry about where you was at and how you could have made better decisions 10 years ago. What is 10 years ago to the end of the world? Hey, what is yesterday to today? Right? The Most High has all hell getting ready to break loose in the earth. We want to hasten our mind to the times to come. This is why we continue to go through these prophecies. This is why, through the Spirit of the Most High, we was able to, do a lesson. The Most High willing, we continue to do it every Wednesday night, whether on this channel or the W5 backup channel. If you're not subscribed to that channel, make sure you subscribe to that channel, right? Mighty edification going on over there as well. But through the Spirit, every Wednesday night, we're trying to go into these prophecies. Strictly Wednesday night prophecies, right? Why? Because we want to get out of here. And we want to show you the different things that we was able to go into for the previous week so that we can see and make it plain to everyone that's watching. Maybe you didn't get a chance to watch, the thousands of videos that come across your news feed on YouTube every day. Maybe you don't have a Twitter account. Maybe you're not able to keep, yourself alert with the different things that's going on, which you should be doing anyway. But if not, we can kind of compile the most major things that's happening every Wednesday night on this Watchmen Wednesday, right? So I want to continue on reading. It says, a moment of historic danger. It is still, and King, I can't see my screen. Well, I can't see you. So I can only see the screen right now. So if you have anything you want to bring out, just stop me.
Con, I'll just unmute my mic there.
Okay, Con. So it says, it is still 90 seconds to midnight. It says 2024 Doomsday Clock Statement, Science and Security Board, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. And this actually was developed in 1945. They have a movie called Oppenheimer, which goes into Robert Oppenheimer, Albert Einstein, and the different scientists that came together over in New Mexico to form the first atomic bomb that took place, where they was able to drop that year, 1945, in August 6th and August 9th. But it says, a moment of historic danger. It is still 90 seconds to midnight. Ominous trends continue to point the world toward global catastrophe or catastrophe. Damn, right? Global catastrophe. It's a damn word, but anyway, it says the war in Ukraine and the widespread and growing reliance on nuclear weapons increase the risk of nuclear escalation, right? And we see the war in Ukraine has been going on for, in about a week or so, it'll be about 2 months, or it's like 2 years, since February of 2023 or 2022, right?
Yeah,
I believe that's when they invaded them. So about 2 years now, and this has been going on, and that's continuing. It's not stopping. Now you got new war fronts that's going on as we speak, right? You got right now you have the the war over in the so-called Mediterranean Sea, right, between the Houthis, Yemen, which is the Houthis. You have America, you have so-called Israelis, you have Hamas, you have Hezbollah. We've been covering those different things, but also this week you have the EU, who's trying to be fully backed over there as well. They're trying to get up in that thing as well. You have Britain. I believe we're going to talk about it, but go into further articles on it. But you have Britain, who's now further getting, into all of that, right? And backing up America and the different nations that's over there, right? You have, like I said earlier, you have North Korea and South Korea. North Korea just pretty much took down a monument that was symbolizing a peace, the union between North Korea and South Korea. And now they don't want that. They pretty much saying they want all the smoke that South Korea and America is going to throw their way. That's what you would do when you destroy a monument that symbolizes peace. Why else would he do that? Continuing on. It says China, Russia, and the United States are all spending huge sums to expand or modernize their nuclear arsenals, adding to the ever-present danger of nuclear war through mistake or miscalculation, right? So continuing on.
Real quick.
Yeah, I don't read this whole thing. You got it, King.
Yeah, no, and that's how you could tell they lying about the clock, because how is it still at 90 seconds from last year and you get like you mentioned and pointed out, you got war in the Red Sea, you got Iran and Israel going back and forth, you got Hamas and Israel, you got North Korea and South Korea, what they got going on. How is it still at 90 seconds? Right, that's just them trying to keep the masses of people from going into chaos, right? Because if we're being realistic, it should have moved up even at the start of 2024 by itself. The clock should be up at least 20 more seconds to about 70 seconds to midnight, a minute to midnight. Like the brother in the chat said, Daniela Ben Yahawada, he said we had like 10 seconds. Gotta be. We're at least closer than 90 seconds. Right? We're at least closer to 90 seconds. And they're getting all this. I want to read the scripture real quick. They're getting all that from the scriptures, because the Most High, he likens his judgment again to a ring, and he said he separated the world into what? Into 12 parts. What precept is that?
Second Ezra 14 and
14.
like 10. Or it's like you can jump down to 11.
Yeah, kind. It says this second Ezra is 14 and verse 11. Matter of fact, I'll start at 10. It says, "For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old." Verse 11. It says, "For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part." Right? So the Most High, just like they have the doomsday clock counted to the what they call the end of the world, which we know the Most High in the scriptures, he's not talking about the end of the earth. We know the earth stands forever, but it means the end of an age, the end of an era, right? So the Most High, he likens that into what? A clock, 12 parts. A clock has 12 parts. Same thing with the Most High. Same thing with the Most High. That's the same thing Esau is trying to do. He's trying to divide the time to see really when his time is up. But he doesn't want to let the people know that it's closer than it really is, because that's going to cause mass confusion, mass hysteria, like they call it. Right? So he's just trying to quell that. But we know just by watching that it's way closer than 90 seconds. Right. You got it, King.
That's a great point, King. I want to I think you had quoted it too. I'm gonna get this quick precept. This second Ezra chapter 5, and I want 42. It says, "And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a rain. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first." And the Most High, he's surely speeding up these different things that's happening. I mean, it doesn't make sense, like the brother was saying, that it says it's still 90 seconds. As if 2024 so far, it hasn't been damn chaos. It's been complete chaos. We haven't finished the month yet.
Right.
We didn't even get into February. You still got March, and then you got the actual start of the new year in April. Then you got the rest of the different things that's going to happen and take place over the summer. You know, Jake go wild in the summer. We don't know what can happen in the summer, if we even around during the summer. We don't know what's going to happen in the fall. But how the hell, since January of 2023 and everything that took place the previous year, on you only still at 90 seconds? Right. If you trusted Esau, I mean, we looked at it, right? Esau always tells us that all hell's going to break loose in 2050, 2100. We got, another so on and so forth years, and then all hell's going to break loose. Nah, the Most High has time speeding up for a reason. And I'm going to get this precept, right? He has time speeding up for a reason. This ain't Matthew chapter 24 and Slakia. St. Matthew 24, and I believe I want 23. Hold on. I'm 25. This ain't Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22. It says, "And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So the Lord is speeding up these days so that the elect can be sealed, right? Because the Lord, it tell you that in Second Ezra, the second chapter, that he already prepared the kingdom for us. The kingdom is already prepared for Israel. Things is already made, you know, the way they're supposed to be made. The Lord's just waiting on us to repent. He's waiting on the elect of Israel to come back to the right state of mind, to keep these commandments, to leave off this world, which is about to be destroyed, and to come back to the Most High God. Right? It says, so I'm going to continue on in this article. It says in 2023, I believe we read this already, right? No, we didn't. We read this last
thing. Read that. Yeah, you didn't read that.
It says in 2023, Earth experienced its hottest year on record. So now it's about to list all the, I believe it's going to list all the different things that took place last year, like a little recap, right? A recap of what happened last year. So it says it experienced its hottest year on record, massive floods, wildfires, other climate-related disasters affected millions of people around the world. Meanwhile, rapid and worrisome developments in the life sciences and other disruptive technologies accelerated, while governments made only feeble efforts to control them. Right? So it says the members of the Science and Security Board have been deeply worried about the deteriorating state of the world. This is why we set the doomsday clock at 2 minutes to midnight in 2019. So what is that? 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was set to 2 minutes to midnight. It says in 100 seconds to midnight in 2022. So 2 years ago, it was set to about 100 seconds. It says last year we expressed our heightened concern by moving the clock to 90 seconds to midnight, the closest to global catastrophe it has ever been, in large part because of Russian threats to use nuclear weapons in the war in Ukraine. And that wasn't the only thing that happened, right? But let's continue. It said today we once again set the doomsday clock at 90 seconds to midnight because humanity continues to face an unprecedented level of danger. Our decision should not be taken as a sign that the international security situation has eased. Instead, leaders and citizens around the world should take this statement as a stark warning and respond urgently. As if today were the most dangerous moment in modern history, because it may well be. I want to find this. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, so I gotta find this article of that general I was talking about. Right, the NATO admiral. He came out and said to prepare for all hell breaking loose. He just said this a few days ago. Yeah. So King, you got it. I'm gonna try to find this real quick.
Yeah, and I had a precept. This is the book, and just like the brother Jude in the house said in the chat, if you want to highlight his thing, it's Revelation 12 and 12. I was actually going to read that, but it's another one I'm going to get. But they know that they got a short time, right? You can see it, and I'm gonna get an article, and brothers have gone into it before. But the average age of the kingdom, America is right there at the door, right? So this is Second Esdras 15 and verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." This is the point. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." Right? Because the sword, what it's talking about, what's the modern day sword? They're not using the blade and the katana no more. They're using these missiles. They're using different modern weaponry. So when it says the sword draweth nigh, it's talking about war, right? And they're literally telling you that war is 90 seconds away, right? So when we look at, I'm gonna read this again. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand." So we're going to go into that eventually. I know the brother's bringing up the NATO part, but I want to go into this real quick. If I can share my screen. All right. This goes in because we know when it's talking about doomsday, when the Most High is talking about doomsday, he's talking about judgment day, but it's really the end of America, right? It's the end of all these empires. Like you read in Daniel the second chapter, the statue. What's the bottom of that statue? Is the toes, the toes of steel and clay, right? So that's what America, the EU, and NATO. So it says the average empire survives for 250 years. Is America at death's door? Now, this was in 2021, right? Almost 2022. What are we in now? We're in 2024. If you subtract 2024 from 1776, when that was the beginning and the start of America, what's that? You're at 248 years. So America is literally on its way out. Right, and I want to read a little bit of this. It says, you can see my screen, right, King?
Con, you on there, King?
Okay. It says, studies show that an empire survives on average a mere 250 years. Did you know that? To put that into context, the world's oldest person recently died at 124 years old. So she lived nearly half as long as most empires do. Most in 250 years isn't that long. When you look at the span of the earth and how long man has been around, it's really not that long. That's why it says the oldest person that recently died lived almost half empire. So it says most Americans are unaware of this small but crucial statistic, which may suggest much about our country's future. It is past time for Americans to confront the painful reality that our time as a world superpower may be limited. And it is time to explore how to slow down what, frankly, is an inevitable, is an inevitability at some point, that the United States global domination will not persist indefinitely. So I don't know what nationality this guy is. I don't know if he's American. I don't know what he is, but he's telling you that America's almost done. That's what he's telling you, and that they want to it's time for America to think about trying to slow that process down. But it ain't no slowing it down. Like the brother read, these times are going to be sped up, right? It says this may be difficult to grasp and accept, but it has never been true for any civilization in the past. And it will never be true for any society in the future. Now, we know that's not true, but that we can talk about that a little later. But you can look at any kingdom, right? You go into the Greeks, or you go into the Roman Empire, or you go into the Babylonians, the Assyrians, whoever you want to go into, they all rose to power, and they all fell eventually. Same thing with America. America is not exempt from the judgment of the Most High, right? It says, as we consider historical empires, it is worth noting that the vast majority of Americans do not regard the United States as an empire in the classical sense, despite the fact that many people throughout the world do, right? Because in America, most people just think of it as a country, right? When it's literally, it's an empire, right? Just like we read in Revelation, the 17th chapter, it rides upon the beast, which is what? Which is NATO, which is EU, which goes into these different countries, sets up military bases and different. It's in every sense of the word an empire, right? It rules over different countries through the reserve currency and the American dollar as like I said, you got to buy oil and things of that nature. So in every aspect, it's an empire, right? It says, however, for the purposes of this column, the United States, although being modern in every meaning of the word, does indeed qualify as an empire, right? So that's really it on that. That's really all I wanted to read. But America's going down, and they know. And again, these people, these Edomites, they know it. That really go into the history of what happens when an empire falls. I was just watching this YouTube video earlier, and these two Edomites, they were historians or whatever, and they were going into what happens when an empire starts to fall. Over the last 500 years, there's been different empires that have risen, that have fallen. You got the Russians that arose at one point, the USSR. There's always about four different ways, and I forget all four, but there's usually four different things that happen when the empire is starting to fall. You usually got a high amount of debt, which America definitely sure has. You go into the debt, and they always got to raise the debt ceiling. You got famine, right? You got civil war, and you got wars without. I think that's all the four things that and I think there was a fifth thing. There was like pandemics and sickness and things like that. But they also said that at no point in time were all five of those applicable to an empire. But at this point right now, America, they're going through all five of these different things. And you can see when the Most High destroys a kingdom, these are the things that he uses to destroy that kingdom. I want to get one precept real quick, and then I'll hand it off. But you can take this precept and you can see how the Most High operates. Because this is what he did to us in the ancient days, right? This is Hosea 4 and verse 1. Let me see. Matter of fact, you got it, King. I'm gonna try to find this precept.
Come. And Shalom, you talking about?
Shalom, King.
I had a point to what the brother was going into. Let me get this real quick, right? Because the Most High, I'm gonna get this real quick. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8, and I'll start at verse 22. It says, "Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, for a kingdom shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time," here's the point, "and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full," Slaki, I actually want to jump. I want to jump down to, bear with me. Let me get this. I want to jump to 17, right? Verse 17, Slaki. Daniel chapter 8 and verse number 17. It says, "So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, Understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision." Right. So we seeing the different ripple effects that's happening with America, as every kingdom or empire stands for about 250 years or so. We can see the different effects that's going on in America, and applying the precepts, applying the knowledge of the Most High, and looking even on a historical level that kingdoms only continue for about 250 years. You can see that we're in the latter times right now, right? These things that the Most High is showing us is of the latter times. We can see that we don't have to wait another 100 years to figure out when America is going to be destroyed. We know that I had this up on the screen. The brother Daniela, he said their destruction is our salvation. So we can see that. We can see that the Most High said, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." And the chief of Esau is none other, right? The chief country, right, or empire, so to speak, is none other than America. We know that biblically speaking, Russia is going to be the last of the Edomite nations moving in power, right? But it's not going to be long. We even tell you that in Revelation 17, and I believe it's verse 11, that the seventh, when he cometh, he must continue for a short space. I'm gonna get that real quick. Right, real quick. This is Revelation chapter 17, and I want to get verse 10. "And there are seven kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space." So these 7 kings are the 7 different leaders or empires or rulers, so to speak, of Esau in these last days, right? You have the country of Spain, you have Greece, you have Germany, you have Britain, and you have France, if I didn't say that already. Those are the 5 that fell. Then you have the one that's Rome during the time of John writing this, right, or receiving this revelation. Then you had the 7th that when he cometh, he must continue a short space. That's talking about Russia, right? Through the different, prophecies, 2nd Ezra, the 12th chapter and the 26th verse. 2nd Ezra, the 13th, it's like Revelation, the 13th chapter and verse 2, speaking about the beast that's set up and the bear being the feet, which is the bottom of that beast. There's going to be the last ones of Russia that's in ruler, or the last ones of Esau that's in rulership, right? So just to give a quick little breakdown on that, but the point of the matter is that Russia has to be, when they come, they're going to be around for a little bit, but we know that when America falls, that's the end of our captivity. Of course, we're not necessarily in captivity to these other nations for the most part. We're chiefly over here in America, North and South America, under America's rulership, because America really runs this earth right now, them as well as their different allies, right? So you found what you're looking for, King?
No, that's okay. Brothers can keep going, but well, I'll just speak on what I was looking for. But the Most High, when He destroyed us as a people, you could see the famine coming and taking over the land, and you go into the to really, you go into the agriculture and you look at the agriculture across America and the vineyards and things like that. There's been famine, not famine, but drought all over the U.S., right? Especially in them states where a lot of the cattle is, down there in Oklahoma, or where the fruit is over there in California. And there's different diseases that these fruit get that are happening in America. So you can see that the Most High, all the different what's the word I'm looking for? Natural disasters is happening in America at a extremely high rate. The earthquakes, these are things that the Most High, when he starts to visit a place, these are the things that He starts to do. So that's how they know that these things are happening, because these Edomites at the top, these elites, they know this. They know the history of and stories of the Most High about what happens when He takes over, or visits the earth. So they're not ignorant of these things.
Khan, you Tazmak, you want to go into that?
Khan. Did brother get Wisdom of Solomon 8 yet? Or 18?
Wow.
Khan, I'll bring it out then. And this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. And it reads, so are thy people, Slaki, so are thy people was accepted, both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. So like the brother was saying, hey, through kingdom's destruction, hey, we start to realize the time that we're in. We start to realize that we're inching closer to our salvation. For the Lord to raise us up out of this land, He has to destroy it. Why? Because of all the things that they did. Hey, it's the same thing that went on with Egypt. Hey, the Lord, he put Egypt on the top. He put Egypt at a very mighty estate. Hey, when you read the book of Romans, it said that he raised up Pharaoh and hardened his heart just so that he could destroy him, just so the Most High could put His name back in the earth. Hey, that's what's going on with America. America, they had the prime, but as we inch toward the end and we see these little things are knocking off America little by little, hey, we understand that the Lord, He's making His name known again. He's coming to destroy America. He's coming to destroy Babylon to put Israel back on top. Because, hey, look, like I just said, hey, that has to happen in order for us to be saved. Hey, the Lord's name wouldn't be magnified if He just disappeared us out of here and America's still here. You know, it wouldn't really be magnified. Hey, the Lord is doing it His way, and He has to destroy them little by little. When we see these things, we understand we're at the end. And hold on, I want to pull up that chapter. Lord willing, I can get it on the screen. Because that's a mighty chapter when you go into it. Hey, brothers can let me know if I'm sharing the whole screen.
Khan, you in there now?
Khan. Go into it. Hey, when we see these things, hey, we're supposed to look upon it as a light. I believe it says that in the first verse. Yes, yeah, Khan. I'm gonna read verse 1. It says, nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their shape, because they also had not suffered the same things, they counted them happy. Now, when you jump down, I want to say, I mean, really, you can read this whole chapter, but I want to get to the point. Colin, you jump to verse 5. It says, when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, one child being cast forth and saved to reprove them, thou tookest away the multitude of their children and destroyest them altogether in a mighty water. Hey, that's talking about the Lord destroying the Egyptians. You know, when the Egyptians, when they try to get up with us, the Lord, he destroyed them all together with mighty water. It says, of that night were our fathers certified afore, that assuredly knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterwards be of good cheer. And that's when you read the mighty precept we always bring out. So while thy people was accepted, both the salvation of the righteous. I mean, our forefathers, they were saved. You know, but they also accepted and they understood and they had in their mindset, hey, look, in order for us to be saved, the Egyptians, they had to be destroyed. In order for us to be saved, the Babylonians, they had to be destroyed. In order for us to be saved, all of our enemies had to be destroyed. The Lord, he didn't save the Goliath. He didn't save the Philistines. When he delivered us out of our enemies, he destroyed them, man. He destroyed them. There wasn't a damn a saved, you know, like these Christians like to say, a saved part, or I could be saved too. No, America has to be destroyed. There's not going to be any saved so-called Americans. You know, and we're all going to get to the kingdom together. No, America, that has to go down. So when we see these things, you know, when we see the Lord destroying the multitude with the water, when we see the plagues coming across America, the famines, the pestilences, you know, doomsday clock getting pushed back, getting closer and closer. When we see these things, we understand that our salvation is near. You know, we see it, and that's what we gotta see with these signs that we keep going into. But let me finish it out. It said, and so thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. For wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us, whom thou hast called. So when the Lord, when he gets up with America, when he brings famine, when he brings destruction upon America, when he pestilences across the world, when he makes the economy start to collapse, and he glorifies us when these things happen. Why? One thing, what the things that we say are held true. I mean, we don't go out there looking like we're just liars. We magnify the name of the Lord by saying that these things are going to come to pass, or reading them out the Bible and them actually coming to pass. The Lord, he glorifies us in that, and also he makes us realize that we're one step closer to salvation. So I'm going to read that precept one more time. It says, for wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us. So we get glorified when these things come to pass, when these wars kick off, when all this destruction on the earth is coming to pass. The Lord, he glorifies us, whom thou hast called. And we know that's the Israelites. But that's all I wanted to get on that. Brothers got it.
Calm. All praise to the Most High. I had something too, but I think we kind of passed by it. I don't know if brother saw it, but Salakia. I don't know if brother saw it, but for the first time in about 217 years, you have two forms or two different species of cicadas that's actually coming out later this year, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like over 217 years, but that was just a little side thing I just looked at. But I do want to go into this next. I do want to go into I do want to go into NATO's largest military exercise in decades, right? So actually, hold on. Let me share my screen. Salakia. Share this screen. And I want to check this out. Oh, yeah, I was looking for this. I'm going to actually play this video. Because earlier I was looking for the NATO admiral who's urging to, pretty much start preparing. So, brothers, let me know if y'all can hear this while I share the screen.
Going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a
Yeah,
given
carry
that
this.
we are in peace. You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make
You
sure
see the
that you can
screen?
survive.
What is that?
Can you see the screen?
Yeah,
Con, it's playing too.
Because I can't
Yeah,
see
they put-
you.
they
So,
put
like I
one
mentioned, this is Salakia. What did you say, King?
I said it's playing too. The sound.
Oh, yeah, come. All right, so this is now this was what 3 days ago now. About 3 days ago, January 21st, 2024, it says NATO admiral urges civilian preparation or it's like preparedness. So why is he coming out and telling us to be prepared? Why is he coming out and telling us right to well, we're gonna go into it, but he's pretty much saying with everything that's going on, all hell could break loose at any second. You need to be prepared for the first 36 hours. So let's check this out.
Going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's simple things. But it starts there. The realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be honky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow.
And I'll say this too, because although it just said this video just came out on the 21st, but he actually had originally did this little press conference over in it says Belgium. This is over in January 17th. So about 4 days before before 4 days after he actually did it, this was finally dropped to the public. So what other things are they doing that they're not necessarily telling you? This is why it's very important. Although they're saying it's 90 seconds to midnight, through the spirit, you can see it's much closer.
But we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans.
Thank you all very
He said it's not a given that we are in peace. So he's telling you to prepare. You got to have a radio, so on and so forth. The first 36 hours, you got to be on watch, on go. But what did the Lord say? Right, let's go to this classic precept. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5. And I'm sure brother said this before. We're gonna continue to say it. These precepts you can't think about. Oh man, I always hear the same. I always hear keep watch. I always hear to be vigilant. I always hear about the Lord coming as a thief in the night. Yes, you may hear these things, and you're gonna continue to hear them. You will continue to hear them. There's a reason why all throughout the Bible the Lord is telling us the same thing about the day of doom, about the end of the world. There's a reason, right? Like we read earlier in 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 34. You want to hasten to flee from these times and hasten to get into the latter days or the latter times that's ahead, right? The Most High has a lot of different things that's going to happen in the earth. It'll be foolish of you, negligent of you, to go ahead and not continue to remind yourself to keep watch. Last week, I had made a video about the 40 martyrs on his Koga channel, and I had mentioned you can't prepare right for Jacob's trouble. You can prepare to die for the Lord or any of those things, or think that you'll be in a right mind in that day if you wasn't thinking about them right now. If that makes sense. Meaning I can't think about, whatever, right? Think I'm going to be able to just go through these different trials and tribulations in that day and dying for the Lord and whatever persecution may happen. And I'm not thinking about it and examining my mind right now, right? So I'm going to bring this out. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 3. I'll start at 2. It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. So we want to be watch. We want to keep watch at these last days and be sober minded, meaning our mind isn't drunk on the different things that's going on. All of you see right now on the right hand corner, you still see my screen. It says what's happening. Hornets at Pistons. Just to put it out there, I don't care. I don't watch basketball for the most part. I'll check up on the Lakers, right? I check up on the Lakers every now and then to see what's going on. Brothers know that already. It's nothing new there, right? I don't watch the 76ers. I don't care about the New York Knicks. We don't care about those different. We don't really, for the most part, we don't. All of this is right here. I don't care about. I don't care about this. But they telling us this is what's happening in the earth. No, what's really happening is the things that we're showing you right now. These different prophecies and updates and current events. That's what's really happening. No one cares what's happening with Wemby. Why is this trending? Why is World War III and death and destruction? Why isn't that trending? That's the children of the dark right now. Right? If your mind is too much on this, you moving in darkness, you want to get back to this light. And throughout the week, you got 7 days every week. Every week your pinky toe might slip and worrying about this. You got to get yourself out of that. Hold on. All hell's about to break loose. What mind am I in? Did I do everything I could have did this week? If all hell would have break loose tomorrow, what spirit are you going to be in? Right? So I'm going to read that again. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Now I want to share my screen to get this this next thing, and we can go into this, right, to keep this thing rolling.
Are you still going into the?
Which one?
Were you done with that? Because I want to touch on that.
Oh yeah, we can go back to that.
Okay, because is it the same topic or?
Yeah, it was gonna go into that NATO drill.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, no, I just wanted to say because you had said it that they're telling you it's 90 seconds to midnight, but they don't even believe that, right? They don't believe that. They're telling their citizens and things to be prepared for war, and you can feel like brothers have been saying, you can feel it in the air that things are awry, that things aren't right, that things are on edge, right? You can cut the tension with a knife, like they would say. There's a lot of things that's going on the earth, but you wouldn't even. And I had said, I had seen a brother. He had said these Edomites, they're more on edge. You can kind of tell that these things are kind of leaking. You can see that people are on edge about this. But for the most part, you see that now that's Esau. But for our people, you don't see them. They're worried about something else. They're worried about Cardi B, and they're worried about the City Girls and what's the next newest Sexy Red song. Right, our people are bugged out, but you can see that these nations are they're preparing for war. Right? And I wanted to read a classic precept. Is Joel chapter 3 in verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You can read that verse. You can read that verse every single week, because this is what the nations are doing right now. They're literally, all of them are preparing for war because they know. Again, you're not just having the exercise for no reason. You're not just having the exercise. There's a reason why this exercise, why they haven't done it since the 80s on this magnitude. There's a reason why there was this. I don't remember, maybe 4 months ago, that Russia, China, Iran, they were doing military drills together. It's not for no reason. It's not for no reason that North Korea keeps shooting and testing ballistic missiles. It's not because people just want to look nice. No, they're preparing for war. You got to be prepared for war. And that's what the Most High is saying, and that's what we're seeing in the earth right now.
Calm. Exactly. You're talking about, did you want to get in there?
Con, yeah. And I'm trying to see. I don't think it's the same dude. I don't think so. I think it's a completely different thing. Hey, but you know, they're saying, I don't know if brother saw it. You know, you has yeah, I don't know who it is. This is on Disclosed TV. You know, you're sharing your screen, so I'll just read it. It says Britain should train and equip a citizen army to prepare the country for war. Head of the army warns. And that's in the Daily Mail with the Disclosed TV actually reporting it. So, like the brother was saying, you have men that are just preparing for war. You know, they're saying that the clock is here, the clock is there, and they're preparing for war. Why? Because they know that the time is here. You know, they know that the time is here. That's why you see all these men preparing for war. That's why you see, like the brother mentioned, the brother Yazra mentioning that North Korea, they're not shooting off these missiles into the sea for no reason. You know, damn, 100 miles away from Japan. You know, Japan, they're rushing around. South Korea is rushing around. Hey, China's not doing drills in the Taiwan Strait for no reason. And then America's there next week. And then South Korea is there next week. Hey, this isn't happening for no reason. These things are happening because everyone's preparing for war, major war. Like we went on before, man. I believe last week. Like we said, like, you know, World War III, they may already started. All these nations at war, but everyone's getting prepared for major war. We're gonna say that. Nuclear war. You know, actual, like, you know, you're gonna it might touch America, man. You know, we're just gonna say that. We're not gonna say too much. Hey, but I just wanted to read that. It said Britain should train and equip a citizen army. So they're not playing around anymore. They're talking about having a citizen army. And if you need a citizen army, you know, you're talking about being invaded. Because what the hell is a citizen army going to do?
Right.
If you're fighting a war in Iran, or fighting a war in Russia, or fighting a war in damn China. A citizen's army is not going to do nothing. If they're talking about a citizen's army, man, they're talking about getting invaded. You know, and having to deal with forces that are breaching the lines of your country. Like damn America had to do. When you look up the Revolutionary War, man, in America they had a citizen army called I believe it was called the Minutemen. If brothers can back that up, yeah, the Minutemen. Men that they had to get ready in a minute. I believe that was the standard for the name. Am I correct? I don't know. I don't want to miss
that's it.
Yeah. Kasai, I don't know if you want to pass the screen real quick.
Yeah, Con, you got it.
Con, Salaki. So, you know, we're gonna get in there real quick.
There you go.
Hold up. Let me know if I'm sharing.
You in there now?
Con. You know, so you know when you look into this, man, and this is what Britain's calling the. Well, let me show it real quick. Show Israel. It says new Britain should train and equip a citizen army to prepare the country for war. Head of the army warns. Why is this man warning that? Because he knows that this next war is going to be a big war. It's not going to be something small. Now, this is what I want to switch up. Man. You know, and this is what he's calling for Britain to have, man. Minutemen. Citizens, probably farmers, you know, And look, and it's not going to be, I don't know, they'll probably get farmers, but they're going to be telling the average man. And this is going to happen to America. You know, they're going to be trying to get everyone into this war, man. Don't think that, look, you know, when we're talking to Jake in the world, don't think that you're safe. Because you're damn in college. You're damn doing your own thing. I'm at this job. I can't go to war. No, everyone's gonna be. They're gonna try to get everyone in this war. Civilians, citizens. You're not safe, Jake, unless you're a servant of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's all he tell you. It's time to come back. But I'm gonna read the definition. In the period preceding and during the American Revolution, a member of a class of American militiamen who volunteered to be ready for service at a minute's notice. Hey, that's what they're calling for in Britain. Hey, men that are ready, and look, right now it might be volunteered. Hey, but soon it's gonna be forced. Hey, you gotta be ready. You know, and like we said, it can happen to America. Next thing you know, they're telling everyone, you know, they're telling all men they gotta be ready. And they gotta be ready just in case the Chinese breach LA, or the North Koreans they breach LA, or the Russians they breach Alaska. You know, you gotta be ready. They're coming through. Hey, look, everyone's calling for war, man. And a big part is that Britain is calling to train and equip a citizen army to prepare the country for war. And Britain is one of the top nations. And they're telling the citizens that they might have to start, the head of the army saying they might have to start a damn citizen army. So he's telling them that war is going to come to their own land. That's all it means. So that's just a quick point I wanted to touch on. You know, we can go back to what you was talking about, Kasadia.
So like, can I grab the screen real quick? Real quick.
Do you think?
Just the brother was touching on that. I had that article queued up, but you know he got in there. But they're not the only ones that's doing that. Just like the brother pointed out earlier, NATO they said that to prepare for war. Britain, right? Here's another one. I think this is the one I want. Is this it?
You're not sharing it yet, okay?
Yeah, I know. I'm still looking at it. Let me see. Yeah, this is it right here. Right, this is Germany. It says an alarming finding sounded the alarm in NATO. Norwegian, I don't know what that is, but it says we are running out of time. German Ministry of Defense. We are going to war with Russia. See that? So it says, real quick, I don't want to read the whole thing. It says after Germany, Sweden, the Baltic countries, and the head of NATO and the head of the NATO Military Commission, Admiral Rod Bauer, it was the turn of Norway and again the German Minister of the Defense to ask Western nations to prepare for an imminent conflict with Russia. You said it says there is a great concern in NATO. This concern is related to the fact that many assessments by NATO and Western analysts have been completely off with respect to the Russian army. So they were underestimating the power of the Russian army. That's exactly what that's saying. They didn't know the strength of the Russian army. Man, Russia had been training for this since the Cold War, since they fell. Right? They've been over there in that Serbia and that easternmost part, that those wastelands of Russia is testing the missiles for a long time. So they've been getting ready for this. While America's just been getting fat. Right? So this is one. It says Germany must realize the danger of a military conflict with Russia. So Germany must arm itself. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said it once again on the ZDF television channel. See that? So Germany is another one that's saying we have to prepare for this war with Russia. And just like we went into last week, is all lining up with, I think it was with Germany that document that they unveiled said is closer than what the masses of people think it is. Right? And this is one more. It says Sweden's call for population to prepare for war sparks panic and criticism. It's been described as a bombshell moment. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Your screen isn't sharing for that one. It's still on the Germany one. At the top, it may say, there we go. You in there.
Okay, calm. It says Sweden's call for population to prepare for war sparks panic and criticism. It's been described as a bombshell moment. The upper echelons of Sweden's government and defense forces last week shocked the nation by explicitly warning that war might come to Sweden and that each and every Swede should prepare themselves. While some have taken the warning seriously and flocked to the stores to stock up on fuel and survival kits, others have accused the country's leaders of fear-mongering. You see that? So they're not, this is a real thing. This isn't just one article reading that. It's not just two. This is literally like the Most High says, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. You can read about all these NATO countries saying, our population, we got to get ready for war because we're not ready. We underestimated Russia. We underestimated the power of Vladimir Putin, and we got to do something about it because war, if we don't prepare war, we're not going to be ready because they're bringing the war to us. But you got to King.
Calm. And let's get a fourth witness. So you have right here, I'm going to share my screen. You got it says Russia's top diplomat accuses U.S., South Korea, and Japan of preparing for war with North Korea. So this is this from the AP News. Very reliable source, right? It says now this just happened. This was tonight. This was tonight on a so-called East Coast time around 8 p.m., 7:57 p.m. It says United Nations, Russia's top diplomat accuses United States, South Korea, and Japan on Wednesday of preparing for war with North Korea. So that could very well be what they're doing, is massive military exercise that they started today. It could be because they're preparing for that war. Now, I mean, why is all these nations preparing for war? Why did Yatazma going to the different nations that's preparing for war? Why did Yazarab going to the different nations that's preparing for war? Germany, Sweden. These different nations of the earth are preparing, but is Israel preparing? Are we getting our minds right? This is how we prepare for this war that's happening. Ours is a spiritual battle. We don't got to lift up a physical sword. I had someone in the comments, they asked, what do you do if they try to draft you into the military? Well, brother, you can deny them. Now, I believe Muhammad Ali, at the time, I think he was known as Cassius Clay, he had rejected it, and then they tried to send him to prison. But I think he fought through, and he was able to get out of there. At the end of the day, the Lord said he's going to cast some of us into prison. We're not fighting for Esau, and ultimately those that is trying to fight for Esau and being in that military, you're going to be set up to try to fight against Yahushua. Like I tell you in Revelation, the 19th chapter, and in 2nd Ezra chapter 13. So that's just a quick little, answer to that question. No, do not. If they try to draft you into war, we're not getting down with that. It says Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov told a UN news conference that this new military bloc brought together by the United States is building up military activity and conducting large-scale exercises. Well, hold on. Let's go over here. I want to share this screen. Can brothers see this one? Where it says NATO's largest military exercise in decades.
Is it still on AP News?
Yeah, it's still on AP.
Okay.
Okay, now
is it it's still on AP? Hold on.
It changed now.
Oh, this is saying.
You
Can you hear
good?
me?
Oh, he might be lagging.
Okay, come. Right. Yeah, it's a lag. That's all right though. Where are we going? So continuing on, it says NATO's largest military exercise. So it says the military alliance has said some 90,000 troops. So hold on, they call it the steadfast defender. 2020.
You're lagging real bad, King.
Real bad.
All right, continuing. It says exercise designed to, all of these articles we've shown. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You might have to go back over what you were saying.
All right, just let me
No, it's
know
still
if y'all
lagging.
let me know if I'm lagging.
Yeah, it's still lagging out. You see your mouth ain't moving.
Let's try this again. All right, if a brother can share their screen and try to go into this.
Calm.
Wow.
I'll get in there real quick. Let me just type up the title. Y'all, so you catch that title?
I already I got one if you want me to go into it.
Yeah, that brother, he was lagging real bad.
Can brothers hear me now?
Yeah, Con.
You good? Okay, Con. Yeah, that's Satan. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if a brother can go into it, but pretty much what I was going into was these different articles is showing you that the time we in right now, as we know, it's no coincidence that these nations, specifically today, right, 90,000 troops. That's I don't know if off the top of my head, but that's that'll be one of the larger fronts of any war, right? Imagine 100,000 military men or military troops are sent to a border right now, and they're preparing for war. Of course, that's showing Russia and its allies, look, it's time to go. We need to go and prepare ourselves as well and get these different men over here. So that one article I went into earlier, I'm not going to share it again, but it was today that at 8 p.m. Russia's top diplomat was saying that South Korea, U.S., and Japan was prepared for war against North Korea. And there was another article I wanted to go into, but I'm gonna pass the mic, giving them my damn screen sharing or lagging, right? But brothers got it though. If you want to bring it out, King, that'd be mighty.
I'll get in there. That website you trying to get into?
Yeah, I think Azra said he has it.
Oh, calm.
You talking about the 90,000 troops?
Con.
Yeah, Con. Let me see. All right, let me share my screen. And then brothers, I'm gonna be sharing my screen. So if you want to get in there, if you want to touch on it, I can read it for you if that's how you want to do it.
Yeah, Con. If you want to do that,
it's not the same exact article. Did you want that the same exact article?
I got the article.
Nah, that's okay. You have that same exact one?
Yeah.
Okay. If that brother can share it then.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Come on. I'll get in there.
And I'm gonna get this precept too, real quick. Right where we about to get in there. This the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, and I want to get Slakia. Right, is this what I want? Yeah, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Right, because my screen wasn't lagging this entire time. Right, week after week. You know, when you get into it, now Satan he doesn't want you to bring those certain things out. And this is not news that is just hidden. I mean, you can go and look these different sources up. But long and behold, now my screen is lagging. Right, it's 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get advantage of you, it's like of us, For we are not ignorant of his devices. So there's different devices that Satan will use, right, to try to overthrow the ministry, try to stop the truth. At the end of the day, I mean, this is happening whether you like it or not. And I believe Daniela, he brought it out earlier, Revelation 12:12. Satan knows his time is short, or he has a short time, paraphrasing, in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. So this is further encouragement. We're going to continue to bring it out, most high willing, but this is further encouragement to let you know, okay, I got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's, right? It's no coincidence that a job might hit you up out of nowhere, talking about $80,000 a year you can make, or $100K, but you got to work on the Sabbath now. Well, all hell's about to break loose. Now they finally, you've been probably applied, you told them you can't work on the Shabbat, and now they want to hit you back and talk about that. Well, that's Satan. It's no coincidence if all hell is breaking loose in your household now, your children is disobedient, maybe your parents is coming up against you. All those different things are signs of the end of the world, and you got to hold on, right? Let alone is saying by Esau, you 90 seconds away from midnight. Hey, the Most High told you what time it is, right? The Most High told you what time it is, so lock in and keep it going, right? But if you got it, King, you can bring it up.
Con, and you, I'm glad you said. As soon as I pull up this website, my laptop starts to damn heat up. You hear the fan going, the whirling. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So if I start lagging, we know what's going on.
Come.
But hold up, let me see if I get this. Yeah, as soon as I pull this website up, now it's going again while I get to it. But I'll read it for you out. NATO's largest military exercise in decades with 90,000 troops starts. The Western Military Alliance has said some 90,000 troops will take part in the months-long steadfast Defender 24 exercise designed to test its defenses in the face of Russia's war on Ukraine.
Right. Now it said this exercise is known as the steadfast defense. Right? Now we supposed to be steadfast. The Lord said that. I'm gonna get this real quick. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, and verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Right, so the Lord told us to be steadfast and unmovable. In the largest military exercise, I believe it was since the 1980s, since the Cold War, you have I think they may actually talk about it in this article, but you have them doing this exercise known as the Steadfast Defender 2024 or 24, and we're defenders of this faith. We want to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh Shema Shakum like Shai, because we know what time it is, and we know that whatever we put forth, it will get it back, right, in righteousness, right? The Lord said this. I'm gonna get this real quick in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 9, and I want 9. So like 1 Corinthians 9, and no, that's not what I want. I want 2 Corinthians chapter 9. Salakia. You can't. This 2 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 6. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Right. So whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out. Right. If you consistently, doing the work of the Most High, if you continue to, and that's really showing your faith. If you continue to call on the Lord, you're going through different hardships. You're there with the Lord. You're not turning aside. You're not turning to the left nor the right. You're not letting this world take hold of you and choke you out. The Most High said, the more you sow, the more you'll reap. Paraphrasing. If you sow sparingly, you'll reap sparingly. If you sow bountifully, you'll reap bountifully. So in the time we in right now, you got to lay it all out there. You got NATO, they ready to lay it all out there. You got Russia, Ukraine, these different nations that's putting it all out on the line in these last days. You have as we speak right now, I had another thing I wanted to show you, right? But I'm not going to share the screen. You can look it up, or maybe another brother can get it, later on, Lord willing. But you have Russia. The other day they revoked the sale of America, Alaska, really. So, and if you don't know, Alaska is it's like a geographically located right next to Russia. It was formerly a part of Russia. I believe that sale took place in the early 1900s or late 1800s, something to that standard. Now, with Russia coming out and with America coming out and doing these military exercises, who's to say that Russia is not going to invade and try to take over Alaska? And now all these troops that's gathered together under NATO, they go and attack that. So, I mean, you got to stay on your toes. You can continue with that article, King. There's a little more on that.
Khan, it touches on the point you said. It says NATO on Wednesday began its biggest military exercise since the Cold War with a U.S. warship, leaving the United States for transit across the Atlantic to Alliance territory in Europe.
Right. In the Cold War that took place immediately following World War II. Right? Because Stalin, having laid down, I believe it like 6 to 10 million Russian troops and just Russian civilians, all in all, because they suffered the most casualties. Russia during World War II suffered the most casualties in World War II. Right? And they pretty much felt slighted or disrespected by America, by them taking all the glory and all the praise. And they didn't do a whole bunch to actually, win the war for I forget what their name was called during that time, but pretty much for NATO. I just put it like that, for NATO, right? Which turned out to be the NATO countries in overthrowing Germany, right? So following that, you had Stalin, you had these different men that were set up of Russia who had this ongoing conflict with America all the way up until the fall of the wall in Germany, I believe, over in 1991. Right, so that thing was going on. So the Cold War, I mean, we back in it right now, right? But this is more on this article I want to touch on. Right, because like I said, this is the last time this happened. The last time this happened was the 80s.
It says the Western Military Alliance has said some 90,000 troops will take part in the months-long Steadfast Defender 24 exercise designed to test its defenses in the face of Russia's war on Ukraine. The alliance will demonstrate its ability to reinforce the Euro-Atlantic area via transatlantic movement of forces from North America, said General Christopher Cavoli, NATO's Supreme Allied Commander Europe. Steadfast Defender 2024 will be a clear demonstration of our unity, strength, and determination to protect each other, our values, and the rules-based international order. The exercise is designed to simulate the 31-nation alliance's response to an attack from a rival like Russia. It will be composed of a series of smaller individual drills and will span from North America to NATO's eastern flank, close to the Russian border.
Now, that's the point I wanted right there. It said close to the Russian border. Imagine someone right now, they outside, they training, right? Right outside your door. Right? Maybe they whatever. I don't, I don't want to continue to paint that example, but whatever it is, if someone is at your door front and they saying they want, y'all so-called having beef or, a confrontation, and they're right outside your door, of course it's going to make you to feel like, look, I got to be in defense mode as well. Right there on the offensive outside of your door, and guess what? You got to be on that too. you got to be on go as well. So what do you think Russia's going to do in response to this? What did they do when Ukraine was pretty much strapping up to go to war? 2 years ago, in February 2022, when Ukraine was doing this, Russia went to go invade them. Now you have NATO saying that they're demonstrating their unity, their strength to protect one another, and they're doing it on the border of Russia. Right? I want to get this precept. This is the book of 2 Chronicles, right? 2 Chronicles chapter 15, and I want verse 5. 2 Chronicles 15 and verse 5. All right, and it's the time we're living in right now. 2 Chronicles 15 and verse 5. And in those times there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in, but great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, for Yahweh did vex them with all adversity. Right. So the Lord said, during those times there was no peace to him that was outside. Those that went out, meaning outside the gates, those that was in the gates. It doesn't matter if America is, going to the different countries and, trying to be a protector, right? A defender, so to speak. You got war going on outside. You got war going on inside America as well. And we're going to go into that as well. You got the Civil War that's brewing up. You got movies talking about it. You got different articles. You got Trump right now. He's parading around the whole United States, and he's winning at a strong, how to put it, right? He's pretty much winning these different primary votes, and he's just beating his so-called opponent, right? He's beating Biden. I believe it's another woman named Nikki Haley. Brothers can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Nikki Haley. He's winning all these different polls right now, and we know if Trump were to be back in office in November, it's going to be problems in this country. America surely is going to go up in smoke, right? On a spiritual, a figurative level. So the Most High, he's showing you that, look, it's going to be judgment going on outside. There's going to be things going on inside. In those days, there's no peace, right? But brothers can hop in there though. That's all I went on that article.
Calm. And this is touch on. I want to touch on that last point. It's a good point, man. Hey, look, if America is doing these drills, and this is a drill, America's doing these drills right by the border of Russia. Anything could happen, man. And when you look at a lot of these wars, man, because hold up, let me see something. I don't know if what border they're gonna be by. I don't know if you looked into that.
Nah, I believe it's I can look into it right now though.
Yeah, I wanted to pull up a map. And the reason is Lord willing is by a body of water, man. Lord willing. That's all I'm gonna say. Because we're gonna go into it. If Kasai can find that, you don't got time on though. It's all good. But
I found it.
Calm.
I believe I found it. But you got it though until I, confirm this.
Calm. Well, I'm just hoping, and we're gonna pull it up. Let me share my screen real quick.
You sharing your screen?
Calm. Hey, we're hoping. See if I can get. You have to see. Alaska will be around over here. And Russia, like the brother said, Russia used to own Alaska. So, hey man, hey, look, we're hoping that they line up around over here, and somewhere around over here. Hey, because look, we're gonna go into it. Hey, anything can happen. Like the brother was saying, if you said what, King?
So I said Salakia. It's Poland. I found this article
Poland.
from
Let's see.
MSN.com.
Let's find what Poland is. Oh, it's over here. See, we'll say it'll be more exciting over here, but hey, look, even if it's over here, more than likely they're going to be set up across the water, and we're going to go into it because when you look, here, let's go into it. Now, I believe they talk about it too. Before it started. Hold up. That's not what I'm looking for, but I believe I typed this in before.
Right. I do know what you might be going into. I believe the War of 1812, right? The Spanish-American War.
Yeah, that's one of them. But this is for Israel, so they don't get confused. What I'm trying to find is wars that were started by an attack on an American ship. And with this drill, I believe they talked about it with the Navy too. But with this drill, these drills that they're doing, and if they deploy the navies out there, and they're posted up by Russian territory, and Russia attacks a ship of America. Hey, when you look into history, a lot of America's wars were started by an attack on the ship. Hey, the brother, he named one of them. He named two, the Spanish-American War. Hey, when they had to say, remember the Alamo. Hey, they did a full-scale war over the Alamo. The War of 1812, what the brother said. Hey, you had Pearl Harbor with World War II. That got America into the war. Hey, so when you look into these, you said what, King?
I'm pretty sure World War I as well with the Lusitania.
You see that with the Lusitania. When you look with a lot of these words, a lot of them were had America officially into it with an attack on their ship or on their ships. So hold on. I want to see if I can find this. If I can't, then I'm gonna pull up something else. Yeah.
Con. And so I had a little more too. You have
go ahead, man.
So it's saying on this article.
Go ahead.
It said in the article that part of this exercise is going to be, like I mentioned already, Poland, but others is going to be Germany, Norway, and Romania, because they're expecting they're the most at risk of an attack from Russia. That's what they're saying.
And then they mentioned the Navy.
No, well, hold on, let me see. No, it doesn't say that.
Well, Lord willing. But we're gonna go into this. Lord willing. Now, damn, I want to see it. Someone started naming them. You said what, King?
I did misspeak. It says in addition to the personnel, NATO will use more than 50 ships, more than 80 fighter jets, helicopters, and drones, as well as 1,100 combat vehicles, including 133 tanks.
And a quick point, hey, these nations, they don't mess around with their ships, man. They don't mess around with it. You see, we can see it going on right now, man. With Yemen in the Red Sea. They don't play around with their ships, man. If you attack their ship, they're coming after you. And America, they're one of the chief nations that do that. If you attack an American ship, they will come after you with their full force. So, Lord willing, they post up right near Russia. And what the brother said, that all you could lead to is a fight, man. That's all it's leading to. And like the brother said, we don't really want to go into it, but Jake, you know, you have someone posting up outside your house, then beating their chest, taking their shirt off, saying, "Where you at, nigga? Hey, look, look, man, you're gonna want to fight that man." You said, "What, brother?"
I said just provoking you.
Yeah, just provoking you. Talk about where you been at. I've been waiting all day. Come outside. And he's calling you derogatory names, saying you scared. Look, you might go outside and do something, man. And that's what it is to Russia, man. They don't play these type of games. So I don't know why I stopped sharing. Hold up. Let me see. You know, they don't play these type of games. So Lord willing, they get too close and Russia does something about it. And hits an American ship. But this is what I wanted, but I want to really, I might have to read it. I want this part. Lord willing, we can get to it. But it says there's a surprising amount of wars started by someone attacking a U.S. ship. And it starts to list them. It says the first one, 3 Vietnamese torpedo boats attacked on, and it goes in. Lord willing, we can find it. But I was looking at this a while ago, and you know, there's some information on it. You know, now these men, we can't say they're credible, but when you look into it, the history backs up. Like, and this is what we were talking about. Quickly to mind comes War of 1812, the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II. We just named off. We just named those. World War II, World War I, the Spanish-American War. We named them. Vietnam, Barbary Coast. Hey, Lord willing, I could find it.
I found something, King. I'm gonna send it to you on the Twitter chat.
Con.
It literally has them all listed.
Con, yeah, that'd be even better. Because I remember, Con,
Yeah,
I see it now. Let's pull it up. Con. It says the history guide, War and Conflicts News. Attacks on U.S. Navy ships short of war. Let's get into it. A list of attacks on U.S. naval ships. USS Chesapeake, 1807. It says the British frigate HMS Leopard attacked and boarded the U.S. naval ship USS Chesapeake. Little Belt Affair. Naval battle between USS President and HMS Little Belt. This was one of the precursors that led up to the War of 1812. And, you know, if we keep going down this list, you're going to see that. You know, things that, and I'll read one more just to get a second witness. It says USS Maine, February 15th, 1898. U.S. battleship, the USS Maine, blew up in the harbor at Havana, Cuba. The island was at that point a colony of Spain and was in the midst of a war of independence. The Maine was sent to Havana as a show of force. U.S. public opinion favored the Cuban rebels, and the explosion of the Maine proved to be the spark that ignited the Spanish-American War. And, you know, like I said, we don't really gotta go too deep into this article, but you see the point. You know, a lot of these wars that America's been involved in, hey, they started with their ship being attacked. They started with someone doing something to the Navy, someone doing something to the ship that was over here or over there. And, you know, at this point, they'll be asking for it, man, if they put a ship over there. So, Lord willing, they ask for it, man, and they try to get into a war off of that. You know, let me get a quick precept. You know, we got to see these things, and we got to try to call them out before they happen. You know, we got to try to be, for lack of better terms, a spiritual judge of the matter. And see what's going to happen on the earth and how how major war will kick off. We'll say that. You know, if we had the ability to. But Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I'm gonna start with Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and Yahweh requireth that which is past. Hey, so the things that happen on the earth, hey, they happen over and over again. Hey, we went through it. America is falling just like Rome. You know, it's falling like all these other ancient kingdoms. America is taking on the customs of these ancient kingdoms. Why? Because the thing that has been passed, the Lord is going to require it again. So, hey, look, when we look at wars, man, and how a lot of these wars were started in America, and we see that these things, hey, it might come to pass again. It says, so if you attack a U.S. ship unprovoked, it's the same as declaring war. Yeah, brother. Yeah. With America, it's damn near like that, man. And that's just another thing, man. And look, that's the spirit. I'm about to get into it. One more thing.
I got a quick precept.
One more thing. Colin, you get your precept about.
And this is Isaiah chapter 23 and verse 14. It says, how ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as a harlot. And Tyre is singing as a harlot again, being regenerated through the spirit as America, right? The ancient city of Tyre and Zidon, as it was a merchant city, as the Lord said that her feet brought her to pretty much be destroyed, right? It tells you that early in this chapter. That's the same way America's moving. It's the new merchant city of the earth. All the nations flock to America as they once in time past flocked to Tyre and Zidon. Tyre and Zidon is built off the coastline. Same thing as America. They deal heavy with imports and exports via the sea. So the Lord said that those ships is going to be the cause of his downfall. And like to the brother's point, a lot of these major wars was started via America, their ships being attacked. Now these also, I'll say World War I already kicked off. I believe the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, it kicked off that war in the Ottoman Empire. World War II was kicked off with Germany invading Poland. But you have these different nations that go to war with America via attacking our ship, and that brings them into war. What you got, King?
Con, I'm trying to find it, you know, but it's basically the United States. Hey, so you know, well, brothers know, and Lord willing, Israel knows. America's been going at it in the Red Sea. They've been going at it. You know, they just had New Zealand join their ranks, and you know they're going at it with the people that are attacking their ships. Hey, they just had to put out a message, because it was supposed that their ship was taken down. I don't know if brothers saw it. I believe that they claimed that they took down the ship. The Houthis. They claimed it, but then America had to say, "Hey, look, that didn't happen." You know, and I also say it might be the spirit. Hey, because like I said, when America's ship gets attacked and it gets attacked bad, they go to war. So they were saying, "Hey, look, no, that didn't happen." You know, I'm trying to find it. They were basically disclaiming that anything happened to the American ship. I gotta find it though. More willing I can. Might have to type this up. But that's the spirit, like I said, because you got America, the Navy, it's getting ready for war, man. You know, they're getting attacked in the Red Sea. You know, so Lord willing, something happens over there. You know, Lord willing, something happens over by Russia. Lord willing, something happens. You know, and maybe with China and Taiwan, man. You know, they got their ships out there. So Lord willing, something happens, but I don't know if I can find this.
I found something. If this is what you want,
Carl, you can read it out.
So this is American. Actually, I'm gonna just retweet it. Or are you sharing your screen? Let me see.
I'm not sharing my screen now. I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now.
Carl.
Let me know when you see this, and let me know if this is what you want. This is what you want, King? It says the Houthis attacked. This is 11 hours ago, right? At 12 p.m. It says the Houthis attacked a U.S.-owned container ship, and they've been doing this for the past few weeks, right? This is not necessarily new, but it's going to tell you. It says in the Red Sea with anti-ship missiles, the USS Gravely, right? That's what it's called, intercepted 2 missiles while one hit the ocean. This is the 3rd attack on U.S. ships recently. The question remains if the U.S. will take forceful, and it meant to say forceful actions.
God, and that's what I wanted. And I just found it too. You know, they had to go because I didn't find the exact post, but I'm finding what it's saying that it says they fired 3 missiles and that it was successfully intercepted. Because before it was thought that they hit the ship, but now they're saying it's just it got intercepted. One was shot into the ocean somewhere. They didn't say they got hit, man. Hey, but you see, like it's starting to heat up, man. You know, the brother pulled it up. If you can read that one more time out.
Come, we'll go back to the other thing. Right? So this is the American One News. I might have to check them out too. Right? But it says the Houthis attacked a U.S.-owned container ship in the Red Sea with anti-ship missiles. The USS Gravely intercepted 2 missiles while one hit the ocean. This is the 3rd attack on U.S. ships recently. The question remains if the U.S. would take forceful actions.
You see that? So, hey, look, just look in the history. Look how much wars were started off the attack of American ship, and them disclaiming that they got hit. Hey, that might be. Hey, look. Like we keep saying, man, hey, this can pop off at any moment and just completely tumble over. But we're in the Lord's time, man. He's building this up because with them putting that out and me going into that, I just got a feeling in the spirit. Hey, look, America's saying, hey, look, we're not ready for it right now. That's what America. They're playing around too much. Hey, they're playing around too much. But Lord willing, something happens over in Russia. Like we're going into, and we were going into before, with them doing this military drill, man. That's nothing small. It's nothing small. Holding a 31 nation military drill in the backyard of Russia. That's like someone is breaking into your backyard and damn hosting a barbecue party. Damn. Yo, we're not gonna say too much, but. Lord willing, Russia does something about it. Lord willing. And brothers, remember, when is this going to happen again? The exact date?
It already kicked off.
It already kicked off. You see that?
Yeah, that's today.
So, you said what, King?
It happened today.
It happened today. You see that? So, Lord willing, hey, something happens, man. Lord willing. Because you can't make that up, man. But that's all gone now, Kings. What's gonna happen there?
Khan, you had something to say? Because I was about to.
No, that's when you.
Okay, Khan, I wanted to make a point on like the brother was saying, how, Russia. It's always been a grievance of Russia, even since the Cold War ended, of the expansion of NATO. Now, there's been said that there had been a verbal agreement between Russia and NATO that NATO wouldn't expand eastward, but you can see that that's totally that they've been expanding eastward ever since NATO has been since the inception of NATO. Right now, I want to share my screen, and it's the spirit because that brothers went into that because I was reading up on something today. All right. Now it's just I'm gonna go back up and show what it is. If Lord willing, brothers can see my screen.
Con, you in there?
Okay, Con. I'll praise.
We do got some breaking news too, but you in there though.
Okay, Con. It says NATO Research Fellowship Program. Now this is 1998 to 2000. So this is pretty old. You can't even call it an article. I'm not even. It's some intelligence. It's some document. Now it says Russia and NATO's enlargement. Now I want to go down. I wish I could get down for quicker. But this is better. Now, again, it's always been a grievance for Russia for NATO to expand eastward. That's something that they allegedly agreed upon, and is going to kind of go into it in this document right here. Now, it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to look it up, you can try to probably find it on Google. Now it says why Russia opposes to NATO's enlargement. It says after the sense that NATO could not be trusted. Now you read up, and the before this title or subtitle, there was another subtitle talking about why Russia doesn't trust NATO, and there was a plethora of reasons why Russia and the USSR didn't trust NATO. Now here are some more reasons why. Now I'm gonna go right here. It says, thus the projection of NATO as a predominant force for the resolution of regional and international conflicts, as stated in the alliance's new strategic concept, is viewed as an attempt by the West and NATO in particular to assert its supremacy and to marginalize critical voices such as Russia's. In fact, the fora where Russia has both a voice and a veto, such as the UN and OSCE, have been marginalized. As Kosovo showed, Russian positions, opinions, and suggestions were completely disregarded by NATO. So you had an attack in Kosovo in Serbia in the 90s. I don't remember exactly what the date was. It might have been 99. But Russia was completely contrary to what NATO wanted to do. They were opposed to it. And NATO didn't listen to Russia, not at all. And they were supposed to be like some kind of partners or whatever. So Russia always felt like after the Cold War, they were getting basically liberoed by Russia. I mean, by NATO. So they, at this point, during the 1998 and 2000, like we read at the top, Russia didn't trust NATO. Now it says why Russia opposes NATO's enlargement. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but there's a couple of key points here. It says after the sense that NATO could not be trusted, the second driving force behind Russia's fierce opposition to NATO enlargement is the bitter Russian sense of loss of its superpower status and feeling of being humiliated, marginalized, driven out of Europe, and outcast. So basically, they feel as though with America and NATO expanding east, they're taken away from their superpower status and their sway on the region because America and NATO, they have their sway over here on the west, but Russia, they have their sway over there on the eastern part, the Baltic states and things of that nature. So they feel as though if they keep expanding eastward, they're going to lose their sway. They're going to lose their superpower status over there in the Eastern European part and those different, the Caucasus and the Baltic and things of that nature, right? It says anything that is perceived as denying Russia a respectable place in an evolving European security space, or which relegates it to the sidelines of European developments and undermines attempts by Moscow to reassert its warning influence on the continent, provokes a painful reaction in Russia's minds. Here's another one. It says, yet Russian concerns over its exclusion from the broader international relations are of less immediate concern. This is their main purpose, what I'm about to read, of their grievance of NATO expanding eastward. It says, it's less immediate concern than the perception that NATO's strategy includes a deliberate policy to weaken or even supplant Russian influence in its immediate neighboring region, including among the former Soviet states. This is the third factor that explains Russia's opposition to NATO enlargement. It is this that has always been the most explosive dimension of the Russian NATO dispute. Right? You see that? So the biggest reason why they don't want NATO expanding eastward, which they have and have been since this document 1998 to 2000 has been published, is because they don't want them to lose their influence in that region, in those neighboring states. And what have you seen since? Right? Poland is now part of NATO. Ukraine is being influenced by NATO. You got the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia. There's another one over there, all part of NATO. Sweden is about to be a part of NATO, or is a part of NATO. Finland, right? So Russia feels as though that they're in, like brother said, they're impeding on their influence on these other countries that they feel is in their sphere. Just like you go back to brothers know about the Cuban Missile Crisis. What happened during the Cuban Missile Crisis? You had Russia putting missiles up in Cuba, which is right on the border, basically, of America. And what did America do? They said, "No, we can't have this." So so America is such a hypocrite that they do the same thing and think it's just okay. So Russia, they obviously have a reason to be angry with America and have a reason to be doing what they're doing, and a reason to oppose America, because they right on their doorstep, just like they were during the Cuban Missile Crisis. In America, they got angry at it. Just like they brother said, if you got somebody knocking on your door and telling you this is my house, I mean, you go and do something about it. You got somebody coming to your crib and put their feet up on your table and make a sandwich. They all up in your refrigerator. Eventually, you're not gonna have it no more, right? So this is why these things are happening. This has been something that's been brewing up over the last 2-3 decades. That's now that it's coming to the forefront and it's coming to a head.
Con, I got a quick precept for that. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 44, right? Daniel 11 and 44. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant his tabernacles like it. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Right. So we can see through the spirit, America, there's tidings, meaning rumors, that's troubling them. Right. Russia, damn near, I mean, they pretty much winning the war in Ukraine. Right. Russia, they're during the Cold War, they were afraid of Russia. The reason why it's known as the Cold War is because they were afraid that Russia will continue to spread influence in the East. So like your Azra is going into, since then, they've been expanding their influences over in the East. America is over in the West. Why the hell are they at Russia's border right now? As we speak right now, on Wednesday, well, now it's Thursday, right? But they're over there. They're over in the Baltic Sea, which is Poland, Germany, right? I believe we went into I think it said Norway, right? If I'm not mistaken. But the point of the matter is they're over at the borders of Russia. It says, continuing on, and shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. In America, through the spirit, we know that they're in an alliance with Israel, right? Our land, Israel, but right now is occupied by the Amalekites. Right, continuing on. It says, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. So all that expanded in America trying to do, you continue to provoke somebody, you're gonna get it. Like somebody like ancients knew, why don't we? If they continue to try to provoke Russia, you think Russia's going to stand by? The reason why things isn't escalating to the point it's supposed to, because in times past, if this was of man, then I'm sure things would have been kicked off, right? You can just see this, right? Nations literally been attacking nations since, but the mass amount of the destruction and warfare is only going to truly happen once the Lord seals the elect. And they tell you that in Revelation, the 7th chapter, right? So that's why it's still about these nations going to war. But at the end of the day, this movie script, this All of this is about Yahweh with Yahweh Shai and the children of Israel. That's it. And I said there's breaking news because we talked about it earlier, but I want to share my screen. I gotta share my screen because something new just kicked off. Now, Lord willing, you can see my screen, and Lord willing, I'm not, well, not that Edomite, not that, but Lord willing, I'm not lagging again. Can brother see my screen?
You good?
Yeah, you good.
So we talked about it earlier that Texas, they were given commands to pretty much pull down a gate and use razor blades and pull down, or not razor blades, but use razors and rip off the gate that's between the border of Texas and Mexico. Earlier today, Oklahoma joined them, but now at 12:07 a.m., you have Florida, you have Virginia, you have South Dakota. We talked about Oklahoma. They all announced that they stand with Texas in a border dispute with the federal government. Now, let's really think about it. Florida, Virginia, South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Texas. That's 5 states. 3 new states, because Oklahoma said they joined earlier today. So you got 3 new states since then, which is South Dakota, Virginia, and Florida. And if we were to pull up a map, let's pull up this map real quick. U.S. map. These are states to the south. This is the Confederates all over again. Now South Dakota is a little higher up, but for the most part, these are states to the south. South, as you can see, if you can see my screen, South Dakota is up here, but you have, like we said, Texas, Florida. I believe it said Virginia, and it was another state.
I think South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota. Oh, Oklahoma, right? So South Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, that's 3. Virginia, and now Florida. And they're standing with Texas against the federal government. Well, hold on. What the hell that sound like? What is that? That's a rebellion. That's literally a rebellion. That's these America ready to go to war with America. Imagine that. Right? That's civil war. Now I'm gonna show this too. Because like I said, this Texas border is right here of Mexico. They want to stop quote unquote immigrants, which is they're trying to say that our brothers of Issachar, for the most part, that's over here in Mexico, that they're immigrants, that this, as if this was never their land, that they were over in 720 BC, that America came over and took, or these Edomites came over and took. And now they call it America, United States of America. But anyway, they want to shut this down. That's why Trump, he wants to get back in office so he can continue to build that border. And if he was able to do that, or not just the border, but the wall, they call it the wall. If he were to continue to do that, I mean, it's going to be infighting, as we see right now. You got these nations ready to go to war, or it's like not nations, but states of America joining amongst each other against America. You brothers want to go into that?
Con, I have a precept. The brothers get Isaiah 19 on this?
Wow.
Con. Isaiah chapter 19, and I'll start with verse 1. And like the brother said, this sounds like civil war, man. Rebellion. You know, all praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. Look, it's on every single front.
All praise.
Hey, it's not. Yeah, come on, all praises. We're not just talking about a world war, and that's all we talk about. We're talking about civil war, the economy collapsing, famine, pestilence. Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. Hey, the Lord's bringing this place down in all aspects, all sides, man. So I'm gonna read this precept in Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Now, we know that that America will be spiritual Egypt. Egypt in this context is talking about Babylon in the latter days. the Lord said he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. What is that talking about? That's talking about civil war, man. That's talking about the left versus the right. That's talking about the damn what they call it. Who are them extremist leftists? Forgot what they called.
In times past, you talking about?
You said what, King?
I said you talking about during the Civil War?
No, I'm talking about right now. They go around with masks and
Antifa.
Antifa, yeah. Antifa versus some other far right. I'm not gonna name them, but against those people. And that's what the Lord's talking about, saying the Egyptian against the Egyptian. The Lord also said a kingdom that's divided against itself, roughly paraphrasing, it cannot stand. So I'm going to keep reading on that. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Hey, so we're going to see, and we're going to say it right now. It's going to happen. Hey, these precepts don't lie, man. There's going to be infighting in America, man. I believe we mentioned it probably maybe 2-3 years ago. You have a movie coming out called Civil War, man. Civil War. That's coming out in April. I believe Kasai knows the exact date, but he corrected me last time. It comes out in April. Civil War. Look, you gotta get ready for it, man. We can't make this up. The scripts aren't right. The scripture isn't lying. Hey, these Edomites lying. You know what's gonna happen. They're not lying. Hey, America is going to be in civil war, man, one way or another. The brothers mentioned it before, man. You have Trump. He's looking to be reelected. Hey, half of America, they're gonna be divided with that, man. They don't want to see Trump in office. Hey, they're gonna be rioting on the street. They're going to be protesting, smashing car windows, cars in hell. Hey, look, when we see these things, man, you can't make it up, man. It sends chills down your spine, seeing the Lord actually working in America, man. The Lord actually executing his word. So, like we just read in Isaiah 19, the Lord is going to set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and there's going to be neighbors against neighbors, brothers fighting brothers, and city versus city, and kingdom against kingdom. So yes, infighting is coming to America. That's a mighty point that we just brought out with these states being separated, man. That's the first thing that will lead to a civil war, man. Is a state becoming independent from the federal government. A state becoming independent from the core. That's exactly what happened in the Civil War, man. The South, they became independent from the Main, which would be the what people will call the North, man. They became independent. And when you look into it and you dive into that history, a lot of they stopped doing business with the North. They weren't selling. I believe the South, they sold the food, because in the South they had more fertile land, other than the North, which is always cold or more cold. In the South they had the fruit, and in the North they had the factories. I want to say the South they had cotton, they had fruit, vegetables, other produce, and the North they had the factories. They had the ammunition, the bullets, the gun making. They were known for that. Hey, so when they couldn't do the trades, both of them were failing on one side. One side needed ammunition, and another side needed food, cotton, and all these other resources. In America, they were in a weaker state, man. Britain could have, the British could have came over, and they could have won vengeance, and they could have took over America, man. But we understand that it wasn't America's time to fall during that time. So we're here to tell you right now that with these different divisions in America, it's going to help America fall. Now is the time for America to fall. So when you see the right versus the left, and these states that were rebelling against the federal government, and they're not doing what they say, and now they became independent, and now they don't want government aid, and they're not doing this, and they're going on their own way. That's showing you that America's kingdom is falling, man. And like I mentioned before and quoted, a nation that's divided cannot stand, man. Yahushua talks about it. You can't be divided and hope to stand. So, Lord willing, that blows up. And there's more states that say, well, I don't get down with this. Lord willing, Alabama hops in there, Louisiana, Georgia. Damn, all these other southern states, man, with the people that are, look, Lord willing, it happens, man. But brothers can get in there.
I know you won't get in there, King.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, if you see on the screen, the House Speaker, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, what was this? 33 minutes ago, Salakia. 30 minutes ago, Speaker Mike Johnson issues a statement on a Texas and Governor Abbott. He said, "I stand with Governor Abbott. The House will do everything in its power to back him up. The next step is holding Secretary Mayorkas accountable." Right? So the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, the House and the Senate, they have to be on the same accord to pass different bills. If it's a split where the House is against the Senate, then that's the same thing that happened during Civil War. And I want to make this quick note too, through the Spirit, real quick. The last time America was in a Civil War was in 1862, if I'm not mistaken. No, 1861. 1861, I was in the start of the Civil War. And Lord willing, we could pull this up. But I'm gonna pass it off to Yazrat right after this. 1861, there was the Civil War had kicked off. But in 1860, that was the first time when Abraham Lincoln was removed from the different presidential ballots. Well, right now you have Trump. He was being removed from certain ballots, and he's been having a fight with the Supreme Court to overturn that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I forget which states actually. If brothers know, they can bring it out, but there was a few different states that wanted to take him off of the ballot, so he can't even be voted upon in that state. And like I said, that happened in 1860 with Abraham Lincoln, and it's happening right now with Donald Trump. Now, the following year in 1861, it kicked off the Civil War. Well, we in this time right now where you got the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is saying that the House would do everything in their power to back Texas and the different states that joined up with Texas. You got it, King.
Kind of, I wanted to bring out this precept. It's Daniel 2 and verse, where can I start? Verse 41. Now, Daniel, the second chapter, is going into the vision that Nebuchadnezzar had of the statue, that you had the head of gold, and then you had arms and chest of silver, so on and so forth. Now, this is going into the toes and the feet of clay and iron, right? This is the 41st verse. It says, "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron." And this is talking about what? America, the EU, and NATO. It says, "The kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken." Now and you can see it perfectly playing out with America. How is it partly strong? Because what? The military powers and power that America has had for the last, let's say since World War I, World War II, right? They spend on an annual basis above over $600 billion on defense. So what? Well, how is it strong? When you go into their military power, just like the Roman Empire, right? But how are they weak? How are they broken? Just like it's going into naturally the way America is set up is going to be divided. Why? Because again, like the brother was saying, you have the federal government, but then under that, you have state governments, you have counties, you have boroughs and things like that that can all do their different thing. I remember when they overturned the federal government overturned Roe versus Wade, but overturning I'm pretty sure it was abortion, I believe.
No.
But all the states, they could choose whether they wanted abortion or whether they wanted to outlaw abortion. Right? That's one, that's confusion, and two, that's division. Right? You go back into the Babylonian Empire. Another title for Nebuchadnezzar was the God King. Why they call him a God King? Because whatever he said, his whole empire, his whole dominion, they had to get down with it. No matter what the state says, or no, his word was that's why they called him a God King, because it was like the word of God to his empire. But now the president here, he got to go through Congress to even get into war. It's not even his word. Right? So this place naturally is divided just by how it's set up. Right? And this place is totally divided, just like the brother was going into. That's how the what war was it? The Civil War? I believe it was the American Civil War. How did that start? Because the South seceded from the Union. How can you just secede from something? How can you secede from a country or empire that you're in? That how can a state make that decision without the confirmation of the leader of the country? That doesn't even make sense. So this is what this is talking about in Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Well, how is it broken? How is it weak? Because this place, you can be in one state and they got outlawing this or outlaw marijuana, and then in this state they're banging people overhead with marijuana. You got different gun laws and different. All this just leads to confusion, and it leads to division. Again, like it says, like Yahweh says, how can a kingdom stand if it's divided? And again, this place is naturally set up to be divided. Brothers got it.
Calm. Exactly. Naturally set up to be divided. All praise to the Most High. I want to get a precept. This is the book of 2nd Chronicles, chapter 20, and I want 23, I believe. Right? 2nd Chronicles 20 and verse 23. It says, for the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. Right? The point of the matter is that there is going to be an infighting. The Lord has infighting amongst the different nations. Right? He's going to have, they tell you that in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, that they're going to, I'm going to get this real quick. Right? I want to get it real quick. Right? We're going to bring it all out. Right? It's 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 15. For the sword in her destruction dwelleth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And we see these different things that's happening. Right? We see these different things that's happening and continue to happen. That's why we titled the video 90 Seconds Till Midnight and More Prophecies. Right? It's a lot. I mean, man, all praise to the Most High. Right? The Most High has never forsook us. Right? He told us these things are going to happen, and these things are happening right now. You got America literally breaking apart. Right? Breaking apart. All praise to the Most High. You tell me, did you want to go into that?
Nah.
Okay, calm. Well, Most High willing, because we approaching 3 hours, damn near. But Lord willing, if there's anything else that kicks off, we'll bring it out. Did y'all want to bring out your closing precepts? All praises. Can't stop smiling. So I like it. All praise to the Most High. But if brothers don't got no closing precepts, I can get in there.
Yo, you got one?
Con, I'll get in there real quick, and this is one I bring out after every lesson. It says Matthew 24 and verse 42. It says, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come." Right? It says, "But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would have not suffered his house to be broken up." Right? So the Most High, Yahushua, he's teaching us to watch. He's giving us prophecies that we got to watch for in these last days. Or what? Like it says, he's coming as a thief in the night. It says, if the good man, if you knew your house was about to get broken into, you're going to stay up all night with your shotgun. You're going to stay up all night with whatever you got and make sure your house don't get broken into. That's how you got to be with the prophecies and the word of the Most High. Right? You got to be constantly watching to see what's going on in the earth, because it could become a time where, and there's been times on Wednesdays where we haven't done this. We didn't do our lesson, right? But does that mean you shouldn't be watching? Does that mean that you should know what's going on in the earth? No, it's at the end of the day, it's on you to know what's going on in the earth. So the Lord said, and that was a big part of his ministry. It says to watch. It says, verse 44, "Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh." So, right, we have to continue to watch, because the Most High, the Most High is going to send his Son at a moment you think not. And again, like it says in the scriptures, it's going to come like a snare upon the whole earth. And you don't want to be caught up in that trap.
Con, you done that?
Come.
Okay, Con, I'll get in there. This is Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 2. And like the brother said, we have to watch, because it will come as a snare upon you. That's important, man. You don't want to be taken up and just, you have no idea what's going on, man. You're just walking around, man, blinded. Walking around like it's dark. You got to know what's going on. Ezekiel 33 and 2. It says, "Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people." And right now we're blowing the trumpet. We're warning the people. We do it on Wednesday every single night, man. Watchmen Wednesday. We are warning you that we're in the end days. We're warning you now is the time to keep watch. If there was any other time to keep it, now is the chief time to keep it. Now it's time to keep watch. Don't fall asleep. Don't stop watching. Don't get distracted over here. Or like the brother was talking about before, get distracted with the NBA games or the Super Bowl. And now you're watching the Super Bowl halftime show, and you just have no idea what's going on. And you just you're getting entwined in Babylon. Don't do that. Keep watch. I'm gonna keep reading. It says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So the Lord said, if you hear this trumpet and you don't take warning, hey, look, your own blood is going to be upon your head. Look, there's not much there's not much more we can do to warn people, man. To warn you that are watching behind the screen. You got to take heed to the warning and watch yourselves, including us as well, man. You got brothers that go day in and day out. And this is a spirit that's on the earth right now. The titles of the video are you keeping watch? Or keep watch. Or this is what's happening in the end days. Hey, men are letting you know what time we're in. So let me finish this out. It says, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. So when you take heed to this warning, when you watch, when you see these things going on, and not just scrolling past, I see this every single day. Well, this is North Korea again. Oh, they're talking about Russia again. They're talking about damn China again. I'm tired of hearing about China. When when you don't take heed to it, you're going to be destroyed. But when you take heed to it and you see these things going and not just scrolling by like a gainsayer, hey, look, the Lord said you'll deliver your soul. So Israel, watch. Keep watching. Don't stop watching. But that's all I got on that.
All praise to the Most High. I want to share my screen for this last time right before we get out of here. Now, when you get a chance, check out this statement that was typed up by the governor of Texas. Right, check this out. I was kind of reading it while brothers was bringing out their precepts, or a little bit earlier, but and just meditating on it while brothers bringing out their precepts, because this is very important. Like the brothers were saying, we want to keep watch, right? The Most High, Yahweh Shai, continues to tell us the same things in the scriptures. We're gonna continue to bring it out, Most High willing, as well. But if we were to miss a Watchmen Wednesday, that shouldn't. I mean, who are we? We dust and ashes. The Lord put it on our spirit just to make a compilation of the different things that's happening on the earth and provide it to you every Wednesday night. But just other days of the week, right? And it's only a certain amount of people that even watch this. So all in all, you got to make sure that you being vigilant and you on the forefront of the different things that's happening. And I believe Nightquam just earlier, he went into a video on how to keep watch. How do you keep watch? What sources do you use? Right? What do you go into? Right? Chiefly, you want to be on Twitter because, as you can see, every second on a second, we can go into these different things that's happening on the earth. But I wanted to show this real quick because you got these troops, this National Guard that's marching in Texas. And I was just meditating on it. Very soon, you're going to see men like this marching, and they're going to be walking outside your door front, right outside of your window. They're going to be out there with tanks. They'll be out there. They may have a bullhorn or they may have whatever else to tell you to come outside and get down so you can go to this FEMA camp. Very soon, you're going to see things like this, especially if you haven't states in the country of America rebel against America. Very soon, martial law is going to be kicked off. Why would that not be the next step? That's for sure looking like the next step. If we were to wake up tomorrow and there's more states that saying, look, they siding with Texas, that's all hell breaking loose right then and there. So definitely we want to make sure that we keep it watch. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna read this last precept that I had. Right. And this is Revelation chapter 7 and verse number 1. It says, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Right. So the Lord has angels spread out in the earth that's holding back destruction from happening in the entire earth, whether in the east, whether in the north in Canada and further up by Greenland, whether in the south by Australia, or even South America and the different South America in the south in general, or over here in America in the west. Right, continuing on. It says that the wind shall not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Right. So as we see these different things continue to sprout up in the earth, we got to remember that great destruction won't really take place until the elect is sealed. So if you do see martial law kicked off, if the lights were to go out, if we start to get rounded up, if you see brothers getting killed or thrown in a prison for this word, and guess what? Well, I don't want to say thrown in prison because that's been happening, but killed. That's the 5th seal being kicked off. So most High willing, you continue to keep watch and you listen to the different things that these mighty brothers have brought out tonight. You got it, King.
Yeah, real quick. Just please, if you're in here, like and share the video to get this information out to our people that it's pertinent to. Right? I'm sure we all came into this truth. Not, I won't say all, but most of us came into this truth on a video on YouTube. So the more likes we get, the better it is. Chances it is that it'll reach 1, 2, 3, 4, how many, whatever number it is of our people that really need this information, that are lacking it.
Calm. All praise to the Most High. Absolutely. Absolutely. Please, it's about 54 people that's watching live. Each and every one of you, Baba Kashah, Baba Kashah, Baba Kashah. It's not about necessarily supporting us, but this is the work of Yahweh Shem Shai. This is to get his name magnified in the earth and let the world know that great destruction is going to come on this earth. And like the brother said, when you do like certain videos, when you like those videos, it's telling the YouTube algorithm that, look, this is important. So now those that scrolling by that's not subscribed, right? Maybe they never, it's a brother or a sister that's in the world, and they just like to keep watching the updates that's happening because there's people that do that, right? They got Edomites that do that. They got these whistleblower accounts. So when you do that, now that those that's already keeping watch, they can look at those updates and they seeing videos like this, which is matching it up with the precepts and the scriptures. And now Most High willing, we brought a soul in through the spirit of prophecy. Right? Your brothers got anything else they want to bring out? Come. So of course, we're gonna give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Malak Ushai. This is Brother Kesadia from WFI Jersey, Philly.
Brother Yazara.
Brother Tazama.
Come. Of course, we're gonna keep watching these last days. Kwame Yasharella. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom.